Hey everyone, Linus here, and today we're talking about something super important for your digital life. Your Wi-Fi signal. You know, that magical force that lets you stream your favorite shows, game online with your buddies, and browse the web at the speed of light. We rely on it so much, but a lot of us just plug in our routers wherever and hope for the best. But here's the thing, where you put your router matters a ton. It's like setting up speakers for a concert. Put them in the wrong spot, and you get muffled sound and feedback. Do it right, and bam, crystal clear audio that'll blow you away. Same goes for your router. A little bit of strategy in where you place it can make a huge difference in your Wi-Fi speed, range, and overall performance. So let's dive into some pro tips to optimize your router placement and unleash the full potential of your home network. Get ready for faster downloads, smoother streaming, and fewer of those annoying dead zones. Alright, let's talk about location. When it comes to your router, think of it like a radio tower broadcasting its signal. You want that signal to reach as much of your house as possible, right? That's why the center of your house is generally the best place to start. Picture your router as the star of the show, with your devices as the audience. You want everyone to have a good view, right? Putting your router in a central location helps to distribute the signal more evenly throughout your home. It's like giving everyone in the audience a front row seat. Now I get it. Every home is different. You might have a weird layout or a specific room where you use Wi-Fi the most. But in general, aiming for that central spot will give you a solid starting point for optimal coverage. Remember, this is just a starting point. We'll tweak things later for even better results. Next up, let's talk about getting your router some altitude. Think of it this way. The higher up your router is, the fewer obstacles are in the way of its signal. It's like giving your signal a clear line of sight to all your devices. You know how sometimes you climb to the top of a hill to get better cell phone reception? Same idea here. Placing your router on a higher shelf, on top of a bookcase, or even mounting it on the wall can significantly improve your signal strength. Why? Because Wi-Fi signals tend to travel downwards. By elevating your router, you're allowing the signal to spread out more effectively, reaching further corners of your home. Plus, you're reducing the chances of it getting absorbed by furniture or other objects on the floor. Trust me, your Wi-Fi signal will thank you for giving it a little boost. Now, just as important as where you place your router is what you keep it away from. You see, certain household appliances and electronics can mess with your Wi-Fi signal, causing interference and slowing things down. It's like trying to have a conversation at a rock concert. All that noise makes it hard to hear. What kind of culprits are we talking about? Well, microwaves are notorious Wi-Fi signal disruptors, especially when they're running. Cordless phones, baby monitors, and even Bluetooth devices can also cause interference. Then there are things like fish tanks, mirrors, and large metal objects. They can reflect or absorb the signal, weakening it in certain areas. Even walls can impact your signal strength, especially if they're thick or made of materials like concrete or brick. So, when you're scouting out the perfect spot for your router, try to keep it at least a few feet away from these potential troublemakers. Your Wi-Fi signal will be stronger and more reliable for it. Section 5. Don't suffocate your signal. Open air is best. Okay, this next tip might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people make this mistake. Don't hide your router away in a cabinet, closet, or behind a stack of books. I know, routers aren't exactly the most stylish pieces of tech, but tucking them away in enclosed spaces is like trying to breathe with a pillow over your face. Remember, your router needs open air to transmit its signal effectively. Enclosing it in a confined space limits its range and weakens the signal, kind of like trapping a bird in a cage. Plus, heat buildup can become an issue, potentially affecting your router's performance and lifespan. So give your router some breathing room. Find a spot where it's out in the open, free from obstructions, and able to broadcast its signal far and wide. Your devices will thank you for it. Section 6. Antennas, your router's little helpers. Now, let's talk about those little antennas sticking out of your router. They're not just there for show, you know. These antennas play a crucial role in transmitting and receiving your Wi-Fi signal. Think of them as your signal's little helpers, reaching out to connect your devices to the network. Most routers have adjustable antennas, and positioning them correctly can make a noticeable difference in your coverage. A good rule of thumb is to point one antenna vertically and the other horizontally. This helps to distribute the signal more evenly in all directions. Why does this matter? Well, Wi-Fi signals can be a bit finicky. They can be absorbed, reflected, or even blocked by objects in their path. By adjusting your antennas, you're essentially fine-tuning your signal's direction, helping it reach those hard-to-reach spots in your home. So, don't be afraid to experiment with different antenna positions. You might be surprised at the difference it can make. Section 7. walls and appliances, the unseen Wi-Fi barriers. Alright, let's talk about some of the sneaky things that can weaken your Wi-Fi signal walls and appliances. Think of your Wi-Fi signal like a tiny little superhero trying to fly through your house. Walls are like kryptonite, weakening the signal with every layer it has to pass through. Thick walls, especially those made of brick, concrete, or metal, are the worst offenders. They're like fortresses, blocking your signal and creating those dreaded dead zones. But even standard drywall can have an impact, especially if you have a lot of walls between your router and your devices. And then there are those sneaky appliances. Microwaves, refrigerators, washing machines. They might look innocent enough, but they can wreak havoc on your Wi-Fi signal. They emit electromagnetic waves that can interfere with your router's signal, causing slowdowns and dropouts. So, what can you do? Well, try to position your router in a way that minimizes the number of walls and appliances the signal has to pass through. And if you have a particularly large or oddly shaped home, you might want to consider some of the solutions we'll discuss next. Section 8. Mesh networks, when one router isn't enough. Sometimes, no matter how strategically you place your router, one just isn't enough to cover a large home or one with multiple floors. That's where mesh networks come in, like a superhero team-up for your Wi-Fi. Imagine this. Instead of relying on a single router to broadcast its signal throughout your entire house, you have multiple units working together, blanketing your home in glorious high-speed Wi-Fi. These units, called nodes, communicate with each other to create a seamless network, so you can move from room to room without experiencing any dropouts or lag. Mesh networks are especially great for larger homes, homes with unusual layouts, or homes with thick walls that block signals. They're also super easy to set up and manage, usually through a simple app on your phone. Think of it like this. If your home Wi-Fi needs were a city, a mesh network is like having multiple cell towers ensuring everyone has a strong and reliable signal, no matter where they are. Section 9. Wi-Fi extenders, giving your signal a boost. Now, if a mesh network is like a superhero team-up, then a Wi-Fi extender is like giving your signal a trusty sidekick. They're a more budget-friendly option for extending your Wi-Fi coverage to those hard-to-reach areas. Essentially, an extender grabs your existing Wi-Fi signal and rebroadcasts it, kind of like a relay race for your internet connection. This can be helpful for boosting the signal to a distant bedroom, a basement, or even your backyard. However, there are a couple of things to keep in mind with extenders. First, they do create a separate network name, so you'll need to switch to that network when you're in the extended area. Second, they can sometimes slow down your connection speed as they're essentially repeating the signal. But overall, if you're looking for an affordable way to give your Wi-Fi signal a little extra reach, an extender can be a good option. Section 10. Testing, finding the perfect spot. Now that you've got all these tips in your arsenal, it's time to put them into action. Remember, finding the perfect spot for your router might take a bit of experimentation. It's all about finding what works best for your particular home layout and needs. Once you've chosen a spot, run a speed test to see how your connection is doing. There are tons of free speed test websites and apps available. Move your router to a different location and run the test again. Keep experimenting until you find the sweet spot that gives you the fastest and most reliable connection. And don't be afraid to adjust your router's antennas, try out different Ethernet cables, or even upgrade your router if needed. A little bit of effort can go a long way in maximizing your Wi-Fi performance. Section 11. Enjoy your blazing fast Wi-Fi, and there you have it. By following these tips, you'll be well on your way to enjoying a faster, stronger, and more reliable Wi-Fi signal throughout your entire home. No more buffering, no more dead zones, just pure, uninterrupted internet bliss. Remember, your Wi-Fi router is the unsung hero of your digital life, so treat it right. Give it a little love and attention, and it will reward you with a seamless online experience. Now go forth and conquer the internet, my friends.